I feel as if I've suddenly awakened from a beautiful dream. I can't remember it. I know it was beautiful.
What good's poetry when everybody's moving on?
Unlike most adaptations of Kenneth Grahame's classic of children's literature, which echo Grahame's gradual, laid-back introduction to this world, Rankin Bass's The Wind in the Willows opens emphatically on the madcap adventures of Mr. Toad. Starting with this departure, we might expect the movie to abandon much of the book's mysticism and sensitivity, in order to emphasize the lively, colorful Toad, who drives the action of the plot. In fact, however, this comical, action-packed opening is idiosyncratic. This version of Willows, as we begin to see by the opening credits, is actually one of the most wistful and meditative, including chapters from the novel that are often excluded for the sake of narrative drive. As such, this adaptation is one of the closest to Grahame in spirit. The musical numbers capture this spirit, as well as the more satirical elements of the author's story,
Use up all his pretty stationery.
which, despite taking animals as its subject,
Use another man's stationery? Egad, it's engraved.
is rife with social commentary.
Prisoner has the benefit of the doubt, but in this case there isn't any. Doubt, that is.
No doubt. Guilty.
While the animation doesn't have Disney's facility, nor some of the other Willows' level of detail, it's bright, colorful, and lively, evoking just the right atmosphere to convey not only the fun moments, but to evoke the melancholy mood of the riverbank and the wild wood, as well as the stirrings for the wide world beyond both.
And to think a road goes past my very door, and I only know a mile or two of it.
Two scenes stand out in this regard. They're my two favorite scenes from the story, and both scenes are often excluded from adaptations of Wind in the Willows. A salty old sea rat hobbles down to Ratty's dock,
Hello!
Hello?
and, with a little prodding,
You're not one of us?
relates glorious visions of Grecian ports and Venetian canals, of smelling the salty air and traveling toward the sunset aboard a ship bound for God knows where.
Well, I must take to the road again.
Whereas in the book it appears as its own closed-off chapter, here it is tied into the following scene, featuring a mystical encounter with the piper at the gates of dawn. But the fact that the film chooses to include these moments shows that it understands something about the story's spirit.
No need to fear, little friend.
Wind in the Willows is a unique adaptation, and one whose appeal is hard to put your finger on. It is not lean, nor especially slick, but it's got something. As Mole descends into the netherworld of the wild wood, as Ratty is encouraged to dream of far-off places, as Pan guides the woodland creatures on a midnight search through the brooks and eddies by the riverbank timber. It points outward in other directions, allowing the mind to wander.
Piper, Pan, call him what you will. It won't be such a hard trip home.
Everything else is certainly permissible, so...
Let's gobble his grub, let's guzzle his wine, let's smoke his pipes to pieces. Let's swizzle his gin, we're gonna begin a party that never ceases.